We're a gaming podcast. We're here to talk about the Minecraft movie. Uh, and yeah, so if you don't know, if you're one of the few people who haven't seen the Minecraft movie yet, because this movie is doing amazingly well box office wise at the very least. It's a movie directed by Jared Hess, starring Jack Black, Jason Momoa, some other people, and kind of basically it's Jumanji, but it's Minecraft. It's a group of people, and they go into a portal, and they're in Minecraft world, and they basically have to stop this evil sorceress from taking over the overworld. Yeah, that's the premise of the thing. Lauren, what do you think of the movie?
Um, it was fine. Like, it's probably his best. It was probably the best I could have expected for the Minecraft movie. Yeah, I think I was a little bit more. I wouldn't say interested, but the interesting thing was the cinema experience for me because I didn't realize how much the kids had been organizing themselves in Minecraft to say certain lines and cheer at certain things. And then obviously it's escalated to the point that they're destroying cinemas and bringing live chickens and making life hell for people there, which absolutely you should not do. Like, the movies should be a safe place to go and enjoy an experience together. I was like, my cinema was quite polite. They would just like clap at certain things and say certain lines and cheer, which I felt was quite wholesome. And I quite liked that. I was like, oh, they're really enjoying the movie. And if this is what makes them like have a good time because they get to say with their friends, I am Steve, well, good for you. But yeah, I definitely did not feel any of that because I haven't played Minecraft, and I'm sure there were a lot of references that went over my head. But yeah, listen, it did its thing. It was like the Super Mario Brothers movie. It was just very plot thin, not much character development, some baffling choices. Really, my takeaway from it is that it, like, you know, the experience of going to Minecraft became a bit of a meme, and I just think the whole movie was trying to be a meme.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, it's interesting because my screening of the movie was like very different from all the videos that had gone along. Like, nobody said anything, and I think that's a very British thing. I think like
Okay.
there have been, there's been some movies like Infinity War or Endgame or like No Way Home where people have kind of flipped out at least a little bit. But with the Minecraft movie, at least because I mean it's 2 weeks since the movie's come out at this point, but like no one really said anything, even when Jack Black saying chicken jockey and all this sort of stuff. But no, as for what I thought of it, I'm coming to this like having been like I loved Minecraft like when I was I don't know, like 12. And like
Yep.
from then, so I was really into it when like the beta was happening, and then I followed it along for a couple of years, so I was very invested. And then I feel like with Minecraft, I come back to it in like spurts. Like sometimes I'll get really invested in playing Minecraft for a while, and then I'll kind of back off, and then that's kind of my relationship with it. I really like Minecraft as a game. Movie bad. I thought the movie was quite bad. It felt Super Mario Brothers movie it's a very apt comparison because it felt like one of those to me where it was like,
Yeah.
or like a Five Nights at Freddy's where it was like, let's get all of the references in here. Let's adapt a lot of the game elements, which I wasn't expecting, to be honest. And do that aspect of it quite well. Like, there's some really deep cut references that I didn't
Mhm.
expect them to go into in this movie, which I kind of appreciated. But then, if you have all that, you're left with nothing else, and the characters and the story are just like, they just meant nothing to me. That I really couldn't get invested in anything. I thought like they really tried. Jared Hess, who directed it, directed Napoleon Dynamite, and I kind of could see those elements, especially at the beginning of the movie where it's like more set in the real world. But a lot of it just doesn't like. It just doesn't work. Like, none of the humor really works for me at all.
Yeah.
I don't think I laughed like once, which is a shame. And I know it definitely felt to me like this is a movie directed at kids, and I feel like kids will really like it. But
Yeah.
yeah, looking at it for me, like it just didn't do anything for me. And can't believe I'm saying this, but like I feel like the Sonic movies have more heart. And like if you've listened to the show for a while, you'll
Yeah,
know that
yeah.
the Sonic movies I haven't really gelled with that as much until the third movie. But yeah, I just feel like if they had taken that approach, at least with like the kind of getting invested in the characters a little bit, I think it could have worked a bit better. But yeah, they just didn't do that here.
Yeah, I feel like with Sonic works because you are invested in the actual game characters, like they gave them personality and story arcs and stuff. Whereas Minecraft, you're the player, like it's sandbox. You can't like you're interacting with things like creepers and sheep and villagers and stuff who literally say nothing, and they don't say anything in the game either, in the movie either. So I think it was really hard to like build any kind of characterization with them. They purely had to rely on the human characters who are just not that interesting. I do not care that Jason Momoa was a world famous gamer back in like whatever, and that he's trying to recapture his glory, and that he kind of just wants to impress this young boy. I had no idea who the lead of the movie was supposed to be. Was it the young kid? Was it Jason Momoa? Was it Jack Black? The female characters, like, God forbid they have anything to do. Like, literally, I don't know why they were there. And yeah, it just, I think that was their downfall, was just that Minecraft is like a really interesting world and fun for the player to experience, but not necessarily fun for the people to witness.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I think like they just they do, like you said, they didn't give them anything to do. I think they, with the kind of kid characters, they kind of try to do this thing where there's this backstory of like their mothers like passed away or the parents like something's happened to them, but it's not like
just never explained.
Yeah, they just don't follow up with that at all. Like that could have maybe fueled a bit of a more of an emotional core to it, but like they don't do anything with that at all. I heard on another podcast, the Weekly Planet, that I listen to a lot, they were kind of talking about the movie, and like they kind of pointed out that one way they could have structured it instead is like this kid is kind of positioned as like he's really creative and he's like wants to do all these things, but then you also have Jack Black in the Minecraft world, and he's also very creative and like he's doing all these things. It maybe would have been a bit more interesting if like maybe like Steve had like the skills but none of like the creativity to kind of make these ideas come to fruition. That's kind of what the kid brings to this, and there's kind of more of an arc there, but there was just nothing. Like it was just kind of like, oh, you made like a tater tot gun, that's cool, I guess.
Yeah,
but they just don't do anything further with any of that.
Yeah, there was this weird bromance building between like Garrett and Steve that I was a bit like, what's going on here? Like I'll never get over the scene when they're flying and they're basically 69. Like, what the hell?
The 69 scene is crazy. If you've not seen the movie, by the way, that out of context that sounds crazy, but watch the movie, you understand. But
it's more accurate than you think. Like I was like,
really
do we know what we're alluding to here, right? Yeah. And Jennifer Coolidge, what are you doing here, mate?
That was wild to me, because I thought when they set that up, I thought like, okay, this could be like a fun thing, but they barely do that. They barely do anything with that like kind of scenario at all.
There's no reason for it to be there. There's just zero reason. She has this weird little romance with a villager who gets transported to the real world and is the man of her dreams because, hey, he doesn't say anything, which is a little funny, I'm not gonna lie. But I just, like, she had no investment in the wider storyline, so every time it cut to her, I was just like, you've just dropped any momentum that you had. Because these sequences are just not funny. I'm sorry. They're funny because of how silly they are.
Yeah. You're laughing at them, not with them, essentially. I will say, for the movie, I actually thought the visuals look a lot better than I thought they were going to look. I don't know if you felt the same. But I think, like, the actual designs and, like, the things that they do with the world, I thought actually looked good. Sometimes the integration of the human characters into it doesn't look as great, but, like, on its own, I thought, like, some of the designs look really cool. I think, like, the Creeper, like, as an example, I thought that the design for the Creeper is really cool because he's got, like, instead of like him actually having eyes and mouth, it's like a hollow face, and then when it explodes, it kind of lights up and like emanates light from the creeper holes, I guess. But I just thought they did like a really good job of like fleshing that aspect out of it. So that was mostly what I was doing. I was like, oh, that's a cool, like, this character or enemy. Seeing that adapted, I thought they did a really good job with that.
I mean, you would have got more references than I would. I was in this position like somebody who I needed to be in The Last of Us, where I have no context or anything. So as just an outside viewer, I was like, again, the story did the bare minimum. I was taken on a journey, I suppose. It was very silly and not engaging. And there was a bunch of box ticking. It sounded like from the applause around me at every reference. So I'm like, okay, I guess you've done an adaptation of the game. But
Yeah.
was it a good adaptation? I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I was watching it, and I was like, oh, they're playing the music from the game. Like, and I loved the music from Minecraft. Like, C418, who composed it, like, did an amazing job, and I'm glad they included it in the movie. But it's not enough to make me like the movie as a whole. So yeah, if you had to give it a rating out of 5, as we do on the show, what would you give it?
Well, on Letterboxd, I gave it 2 out of 5 because I think it was passable. It was better than Borderlands.
It was better than Borderlands. I gave it the same. I gave it a 2 out of 5.
Okay.
It was just like, yeah, it was a like if you're old enough and listening to this, go watch Sinners. I think like that's the takeaway. Watch that movie because that's a much better
it's a movie for
than
children. Minecraft is a movie for children. Same as Super Mario Brothers. So I didn't expect to be like blown
Yeah.
away by it. But then also, you can sometimes hope that like it'll be like a Pixar movie where it treats both audiences at the same level. There's something for
That's
everyone.
dope. Yeah, exactly.